There's a lot of oak trees, big oak trees around. Manzanita. Bay. Feels it's like a mixture of being exactly where I was, but at a different ancient, earlier time frame, and also mixed in kind of like a time frame in Europe and England and Ireland or somewhere. It just um, it doesn't. It's there's a few like places all kind of converging into this one. Also, Harbin being it's like imprints of Harbin hot springs, but the plants are all the same. The oak and the bay and the manzanita. And I'm seeing myself making poultices, mashing up the acorn and the leaves, making a chest poultice.
And where are you making it? Are you standing near the trees outside?
I'm in the middle of nothing on the earth, on the forest floor. I've got a stone medicine bowl that's immortal and pestle, making this paste. I'm adding in some clay and water.
What else is around you besides the trees? What else do you notice, or what catches your attention?
Pine, more trees. Big rock, a creek. Some poison oak.
And how does that place make you feel? Do you feel safe there?
Feel really at ease. The air smells warm but gentle.
Very good.
The oak feels like poison oak feels like it wants to share that there's some medicine in it, maybe homeopathically. That's helpful.
Now look down and see if you can see your feet. Do you see your feet?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me what your feet looks like.
They look kind of hobbitish and a little bit furry. Like and definitely these big, well adapted, barefoot feet. Lots of dirt and a little bit furry, but humanish.
Is that the same size as a human feet?
They kind of look a little bit bigger toward the toe basin, broad, pretty broad. A little bit of fur patches, but toes, same kind of shape as a human foot.
Now let's move up the body to your legs and your upper body. What does it look like and what are you wearing, if anything?
And just kind of see a skirt, some hanging edges of a skirt that is jaggedy. So it looks very worn. Cotton fibers. It's coming down around my mid calves. So I just see that. Have a little belt of around my waist, kind of like an apron belt with pockets. There's some different tools in my pockets.
What kind of tools?
There's a stone, like arrowhead knife. And there's some sort of string or wire bundled in another pocket.
Now let's look further up the body. What are you wearing on your chest area and how does your hand look like?
I feel like there's a baby on my back and like some sort of carrying mechanism, and my breasts look really big. Maybe they're full of milk. They're covered in clothing. My hands have a similar look, kind of in and out of the furriness slightly to them, mixed with human hand. And I have a pen, and I'm also taking some notes. I'm writing some stuff down.
And where are you writing that stuff down?
It looks like this kind of homemade paper. It's thick. Some notes on the plants and what I'm noticing.
And what does your head look like, your hair, your facial features?
As I come there, I get the sense overall that it feels like Sasquatch energy mixed with human. Very intelligent being. So it's again that kind of, the face looks more Sasquatchy versus human.
So you have hair on all your body or just some parts?
No, just some parts. The face all. But the rest of, and I can see down the chest there's hair. But then it just kind of becomes patchy in places.
And do you have a gender?
Female.
Very good. And how does the baby look like? And how old is the baby?
The baby is like 3 months old. Looks very human.
Does the baby have hair as well?
Has dark features, has a good dark black hair. pinkish eyes. Bundle, it's swaddled up in this carrier. That's all I see, the face.
Mm-hmm. Is that a human baby zoo or is it also a Sasquatch?
It feels like I'm a mixed breed and then mixed with a human, and the baby at this moment looks mostly human, though it's a mix.
Does the baby have a gender?
A boy.
Very good. And what are you doing there in this area besides journaling and making notes and making some kind of potion out of the herbs?
I get the sense I'm also a researcher, collecting data about certain the cycles of the plants. Looking for a sleep potion.
Sleep potion?
Mm-hmm.
What is that?
There's someone in the village that's having sleep issues. So I've been experimenting with different alchemy of plants to help them.
Very good. I want you to stand in front of the place that you live in that lifetime, the place where you eat and rest. You're now standing in front of the place that you live in that lifetime. Be there now and tell me what you see.
Very basic kind of cabins and thatched roofing. Just kind of hut-like. There's lots of little huts around.
What are they made of?
There's not it's like a bunch of hay bound together for the roofing, and like planks of wood sides. It's all a little raw, rough, not refined.
Are there any windows or doors in those huts?
There's just a door, and there's like a side that can open to create airflow. They're pretty small.
Now let's move through the door inside one of those huts where you live and tell me what you notice inside the hut.
Just really basic. It's a dirt floor, smooth, polished, and there's a fire pit in the center, and it just looks like an area just for sleeping for the family. There's some blankets, sheepskins on the ground, some pine cedar branches around to sit on.
Very good. I want you to see yourself eating a meal at your home. If there's anyone else who lives with you, you will see them with you now. What do you see there?
There's a big area that's got it's outdoors and big beams around, creating a thatched roof over it, but it's open on all sides. And it's very tribal. Everyone's just come together and sitting with some carved wood bowls and eating from the bowls together. There's lots of nursing babies and family.
And how do they look like, those beings that live with you?
They look similar to me and human. It's a very time of mixed racing, mixing the species. Everyone's very happy.
And how do you communicate with each other?
There's a lot of almost looks like some sign language. It's like kind of based off the heart. And also some sounds. There's definitely a frequency knowing within each other. Just feel a lot of love.
And how is this village or that tribal setting structured? Is there a leader, or are there any rules there?
Where feels very balanced. Everyone has certain specialties that they're good at, and there's like a mentoring system. So early on, elders notice what kids are good at and help mentor, like the grandparent mentoring the kids, as then the middle-aged are doing, the work, the main work of the tribe. I'm definitely a medicine woman person being, and keeper of the records of the forest language.
Tell me more about it, that forest keeping. What does your responsibility contain?
I track the cycles of the plants. I organize seed collection and storage for food, organizing the nut seeds that come from the trees. I have a hut that's all full also of all sorts of plants hanging. It's kind of like an apothecary. I'm a keeper of the codes of the trees.
What does that mean?
I know their song.
And how does that work? What are their songs?
It's their sounds that they send for frequency healing, and I know how to tap into their root system and the web that they all communicate through. And
How do you use that? Why do you need to know that, or how do you work with that?
people come to me when they're sick.
Do you heal them with just the herbs, or do you use other means for healing?
Trees channel through me. And the herbs. And there's just the frequencies that come from the plants. So there's a physical use of the plants and an energetic. I make some kind of version of homeopathic medicine. And I can see like a distilling down so that it's the frequency medicine. That's the codes.
And how did you learn all of this?
My mother and her mother. My great grandmother.
So it's been passed through generations to you? Are you the only one in this village who knows how to do that?
No. There's another man. We're friends. Looks like there's a few people.
And what do others do in this village? What are their responsibilities?
Those ones are others.
The other people who live with you in that village, what do they do? What are their responsibilities?
And when I say like my partner is a builder, helps build structures, the homes. One of my other children, who's like 4 or 5, is into music. And there's an elder that will mentor him in music, flutes and drums. There's a lot of music around now that I tap into that. There's the songs of the forest that come through, the wooden instruments.
And where is your village located? What surrounds the village?
Just before you're saying that, Shasta popped into me. being.
So is it on the mountain, or what is surrounding the village? What kind of setting?
I'm having resistance to placing it on the mountain or being on the mountain, or saying that even though it's there. And it's kind of maybe more like at the base of the mountain, on the north side, being near there's a lake in the near distance.
Mm-hmm.
But it also feels like a conglomerate of places.
Is everyone in the village a mixed species?
Some are pure human.
How did this mix of races take place? When did that happen and why?
$500 years ago. Feels like parts of Northern California and the Pacific, going north to Canada. There are little pockets of places where the Sasquatch were harmonious with the humans, and there was interbreeding going on, and then it became unsafe, but for a time there was harmony before they went to another dimension.
Very good. Let's learn a little more. Close that scene. Now let's move to another important scene in that life that has information for you. We are moving to another important scene that has information for you. Be there now. Trust your first impressions and tell me what is happening. Where are you?
I'm gathering rose hips, and wait, there's also this conflict energy going on with somebody. Just feeling a lot of tension.
And where are you right now? Where are you gathering those rose hips?
I'm just out in edges around the lake, and there's tons of wild roses. And I'm collecting the rose hips, and it felt really peaceful, but then there was this conflict energy to my right. There's somebody telling me I couldn't do something I was doing they didn't agree with.
Do you see anyone standing there to your right? Or is it just the energy?
Seems like a woman.
What does she look like?
She's got this kind of similar outfit. It's kind of plain shirt with the skirt and belts and apron. She's all human.
what is she telling you? Or what are you sensing from her?
I'm sensing judgmental energy. It feels interrelated. She has judgment around the mix that I am. Doesn't want me near her kids. No longer giving medicine, helping her kids or her family.
Is she part of your tribe?
It feels like in the future from where we were, and there's much more of a human influence and populating the area that we've been in. And she sees me as very different and not and just doesn't understand who I am, and doesn't see me as she feels superior. She thinks she's superior.
Very good. Close that scene. Now let's move to another important scene in that life that has information for you. We are moving to another important scene that has information for you. Be there now. Trust your first impressions and tell me what is happening. Where are you?
Some sort of burial ground. At my son's grave. My partner's grave's next to him. There's sadness. My son's is freshly buried. My partner's been there a while. There's a lot of warring energy on the mixed breeds. It's a dying race.
How old are you there?
82.
What happened to your son?
He was attacked.
Tell me how that happened and who attacked him.
They're humans. Just feels all that energy, judgment. That the beasts don't belong. They don't see our intelligence. Or see us as equal. he was beaten.
Very good. Now let's close that scene. Close that scene. And let's move to the very last moments of that life. You do not have to experience anything painful. You see it as an observer if you would like. We are moving to the very last moments of that life. Be there now and tell me what you see.
It's very peaceful. There's a lot of my tribe around me, family and friends. We've moved our village back more deeper into the forest so that it feels more hidden, and it feels like, yeah, I'm definitely feeling very supported in this transition and at peace. And I feel sad to be leaving the generations, but it feels like there's a, as I go, we are going into a different dimension anyways. It's time. It's time to leave so that we can be safe.
And what is going on with your physical body?
My physical body is old, very old, and aging, but there's an agreement with everyone. We figured out how to be in a different dimension and are together again.
How old are you right now?
Hundred something.
You said you figured how to be in another dimension. Tell me more about it. How do you enter that dimension and when?
We worked with a plant that has a lot of DMT, and so we're doing these inhalations of it and then leaving out our bodies through our crown, agreeing to let our bodies go. But it's just beyond where we were. It's like a whole same place, but just in a different dimension.
Is it something you do while you're dying or you're doing it while you're living?
We've been doing it for a little while now for those dying, and as I'm dying, it's like we are dissolving all those that I want to, dissolving all evidence of our life in that dimension. It's all just coming with us. We have created force energy fields around our physical bodies so that they disappear.
Can someone do that while they're still alive and healthy, or is that something that you only do when someone passes on?
Yes, there's a group going now. The last of our mixed tribe is going. A few are staying. Most are going.
Very good.